pressure in control. Man, that looks great.
Jets! Woo! Oh my God, it's so beautiful. 78 degrees, Jets football, and we're winning. That's what's going on today. That's why everybody's so psyched. This isn't no happenstance. This is a guarantee, just like Joe Namath said. See that?
There are few things in life you cannot put a price on. Loyalty, tradition, fierce passion. Today is a gigantic family reunion because finally, they're back.
All right, opening day 2021. That was the first time we got to lay our eyes on one Zach Wilson. We were so excited, everybody, for about 12 minutes, and then it was really, really bad. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am GreenBean. Welcome to Good Morning Jets for this Friday, January 6th, 9:03 a.m. in 2023. I'll tell you, this should be the last day I'm using this microphone. So if you guys remember on the Thursday Think of It last week, my everything broke right before the show. So I'm supposed to be getting my new mic connection kit today, and that'll be nice. But I think we're doing okay in the time being. So we started with a nice little hello from one Phil Adams in the UK. So we already have the UK here. We already have California in the house with Sheridan Hope. Look at this. Hank's here. I forget where you are, Hank. Ant Jets, good morning. Ant Man himself. I like this. This is fun. Twisted, good morning to you. Big Green's up there in upstate New York. What was it? Where was I when I think I was Lake George. That's where you are. Like you're basically in the Lake George area, right? The stream starts with the traditional green heart from our wackadoodle buddy, Jets Forever. J-Man Hop is in the house. Right. Good morning, guys. Alpha Anaconda. That's right, man. Tiger Thor's here. Now Power. My old buddy Matthias Simon, the runner, the manager of the Greenhouse Facebook page. You should go check him out. Matt's one of the most diehard Jets fans I've ever known, and he's still here. He found me. We got separated for a decade, two decades, and we found each other again. I'm very happy about that, Mr. Matt Simon. Stud City's here. Barry McCockiner. Yeah, that's all. Zach needs 100-plus pass attempts per game. So, again, good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a good day. Lots more of you guys are rolling on in, and I love it. Let's start today's stream with a little bit of an update. There was some news. I don't know how much of it's news, but as the smoke kind of clears and the details come out, Coach Sean McDermott, among others, have they've come out and said, look, a lot of people worked when Damar Hamlin went down in the Monday Night Football game this week. A lot of people rose to the occasion. A lot of people did good things, and everybody together, were able to get this and make a terrible situation into a less terrible situation, right? So, but it's coming out that this one man, Denny Kellington, right here, is largely credited with saving Damar Hamlin's life, and he's the guy who administered CPR while he was on the field. We now know that he lost his pulse. He had no pulse 2 separate times while on the field, and it was largely this man, Denny Kellington, that rose to the occasion and kept Damar Hamlin going. Big deal, man. I mean, look, it's like you ever go to a restaurant and someone chokes. You ever been to a restaurant when someone's choking? It's a crazy thing, man. Somebody chokes and everybody freezes. Everybody hopes somebody's going to do something. And then there's a guy or a woman, there's someone who stands up. There's never a line of people like, oh, we could all help. It's one usually, maybe 2. Everybody's freaked out, frozen in place. I've seen it. I've seen it. Not exactly the same, but similar type of scenario. It's like anybody can do that. We all know the Heimlich. We all know CPR, most of us, right? We know the basic CPR these days. If you don't, you should, quite frankly. It's not that difficult specifically. But if you don't know, you don't know, right? So it's not hard to get certified in CPR. And everybody should know at least basic CPR these days. But Denny Kellington was the guy who ran out there, identified what was going on. He's got no pulse. This young man's going to die. And he took it by the reins, by the horns. And again, now he's getting credited with largely keeping Damar Hamlin alive. And it's just amazing, man, because who knows? I mean, this is outside of the normal expectations for a game. Somebody falls over, you think, all right, maybe he's got a concussion, you know what I mean? Something like that. Nobody's thinking cardiac arrest, right? And not that you need to know specifically, how to deal with it long term, but somebody needed to rise and take care of it. So Denny Kellington, good to have you around up there in Buffalo and for the game. And I just wanted to acknowledge him because it's a big friggin' deal, man. It really is. I mean, this guy, Damar Hamlin, as we talked about last night on the Thursday Thick of It, word is, and I don't know how accurate this report is, the first thing Damar Hamlin said when he became conscious again 2 days later is, did we win? Did we win? You see? And the nurses and doctors and the medical staff that were there said, yes, you did win. You won the game of life. You're alive. You don't realize how severe this was. So anyway, yeah, respect to Kellington. Good. And, rivals, right? I hate the Buffalo Bills and I hate the Miami Dolphins. But well, aside, all that settles down when someone's life is on the line. And you got to praise the people that stand up and take control. So again, much respect for Denny Kellington with the Damar Hamlin situation, and we're hoping Damar Hamlin has a full recovery. Who knows if he'll play again? But man, he's alive. I'm sure his family's incredibly grateful. So guys, we have a few more things to discuss today. Let's see, what do we got here? Big one. Did you know that the Jets, a little backstory here, the Jets drafted in the 2021 draft a young man by the name of Jason Pinnock. Now, I'm going to be real honest with you. When we took Jason Pinnock, I happened to not like him as a cornerback. I didn't love the pick. I didn't. I thought it was a reach, and I didn't like it. Turns out, at cornerback, he really wasn't long for the position in the NFL. But they moved him over to safety. They worked him out there. He came in, he played a game. He looked pretty good, decent, right? Looked like he had potential. So the Jets, we work him out all off season. We have him in that position, and it looks like, hey man, he might be a factor. He's competing for the starting job. If not, he's definitely in the mix for a backup reserve role. He could play specials and come in when needed. Well, the Jets took a swing on stashing him on the practice squad. They thought maybe, remember, Robert Saleh came out and said the reason that they let Pinnock go out there and not Tony Adams is they were pretty sure, they were very concerned that Tony Adams, the undrafted free agent rookie, would be poached. And they felt like Pinnock, not so much. They thought they could stash him and get away with it. Well, as we learned, the Jets were the number one team in the NFL this offseason of receiving waiver claims for the players that they cut. We lost the Chuma Edogas, the Trayvon Wescos of the world, and we even lost Jason Pinnock to our crosstown rivals, the New York Giants. And Pinnock has been having himself a decent season. He looks like the real deal over there, and he's fitting right in. And meanwhile, we got shitty safety play, and Jason Pinnock could have really, really been what the doctor ordered this year. But we did it for Tony Adams. Now, Tony Adams, just to be clear here, let me put this up here for you. Let's see here. So Tony Adams, where is it? Okay. He's 23 years old, 6 foot, 205 pounds. He comes out of Illinois. Excuse me. Now, last week, he ended up playing 83% of the snaps. LaMarcus Joyner, as we know, is injured. Robert Saleh said he's done for the season. It is my belief he's done, period, at least in a Jets uniform. There's no reason to have LaMarcus Joyner around. I mean, if you can get him back for vet minimum as a third safety or something like that, sure. Hey, man, there's nothing wrong with that. Other than that, I don't think there's any real reason to bring LaMarcus Joyner back. But Tony Adams, he got to play last week. Now, he had 83% of the snaps. He had 6 total tackles, 4 solo, and he tackled Kenneth Walker solo 4 separate times. So that's a pretty good thing. Now, I will add that he had a clear sack, straight line to Geno Smith. When he almost got there, he kind of pulled up and did a little weird thing, and Geno sidestepped him, and he got away. So that's not so good. But you got to factor in. He's new. He's figuring it out. But the thing is, guys, it looks like he's going to start this week. So one of the things that we get to look at, this last game of the season. Hold on. One of the things we get to look at this last game of the season is one Tony Adams. We get to see what he's got, man. Again, he played last week, and he played a few plays sparingly throughout the season. But I'll tell you this, he's one of only 6 undrafted free agents, defensive backs that is, to have 10 tackles and a pressure on the quarterback. He's only one of 6. So, I mean, maybe that's a good sign for Tony. What did I say? Did I not say Tony Adams? What the hell did I say? Hold on. What did I say? Josh Adams? Oh, dude, ridiculous. It's early, man. Forgive me. That's my bad. I know I'm seeing you guys saying Tony Adams. I'm like, yeah, Tony Adams. Who am I talking about over here? All right, my bad. Thank you. Thank you I didn't even realize I did that. So thank you. Joe, who's Josh Adams? Didn't we have a Josh Adams? Wasn't he the running back? He was a running back. Forgive me, my sprightly friends, and thank you for the correction. Yes, that's exactly who I'm talking about. Finger Lakes had me. Phil had me. Thank you. Just to back up, Twisted says, as a trained first responder, people should learn infant-child CPR. It's total, absolutely. Man, when I had my kids, because I've been certified in CPR for many years. I was a responder when I worked for AT&T. We had 2,400 people in the building, and you had different people scattered throughout the building that were trained. We were the people that, if anything happens, that we're supposed to run over, drop everything and go. And I was that for them. And then I was a therapist for many years, and I worked in a detox, and then I ran rehabs and all that kind of stuff. So I've been trained and, certified every 2 years for, I don't know, the last 20. But when I had kids, totally different thing. You're absolutely correct. And I was nervous about that. One of the things I wanted to make sure that my wife and I had was a handle on infant CPR. And I agree. I mean, it's one of those things, man. It's like who needs it? But I'm telling you, if you're in that situation, man, you're going to be really grateful that you know it. I'm telling you right now. I saw a couple other comments on that too. Let me just see real fast. New Hampshire's in the house. I see that. From Jets, Paulie. Captain K Techno from Ireland is here. We got all sorts of fun people. Sean Farley from Scotland. There you go. Fairly. My bad. Sean Fairley from Scotland. We got Scotland, Ireland, UK. We got the whole. All we need is little Wales. Do we know anybody from Wales? Finger Lakes is home with a sick kid. Well, there you go, man. I mean, sorry your kid's sick, but if it affords you a little bit of time, obviously we hope that your child gets a speedy recovery. Let's see. Oh, here it is. M. Morris said he had to perform CPR on my daughter weeks ago. Holy shit, man. That's terrifying. And I'm sorry that you had to go through that, my friend. But yeah, obviously, if you're telling us this, it worked out. And good for you, man. Good for you that you're able to do it. I mean, I performed Heimlich on a friend one time years ago, And I was scared to do it. I was like, I couldn't believe it was really happening. He was like doing the whole thing. He was red and very quickly turned blue. I was like, holy shit, this is real. And I just said, okay, it was just he and I. We were alone in his kitchen, man. And I went and I did it. It took 3 shots. Boop, boop, boop. It came out. He cried on the floor for a good minute. Like, he cried. He was terrified. It scared the hell out of him. And yeah, so I got to do that, man. I was grateful that I knew it. You know what I mean? That's a little different than CPR, of course, but still, same kind of scenario. So yeah, man. So Tony Adams, my bad. New York Jets superfan says we need more players. Well, I think we're, one of the things that I want to make sure that for myself, because I can slip into despair very, very quickly, especially during just an epic collapse. Even by New York Jets standards, this was an epic collapse. And it sucks, man. Because look, the Vikings game, right? Let's start with either one of the Patriots games. I thought we had that first Patriots game. Don't forget the John Franklin Myers roughing the passer. We had a pick 6. Like we were going into the half 17-3 or 17-6. Like it was, that game was so within reach, and we got 3 interceptions and the whole thing. The next game that we played, we beat the Bills, and then we played the Patriots again, and we scored all of 3 points. It was 3-3 with like a minute and a half left. We were playing for overtime, and we just had a bum return, you know what I mean, coverage unit, and they friggin' win. But it's like, it was so attainable. Then you go to the Vikings game. I mean, come on. 6 times in the red zone, and we got to the 1-inch line. Lafleur overcomplicated. Just fucking put James Robinson in and pound it 3 times, man. You're getting in. Nope, he mucked it up, and we didn't get it. And then you got the Berrios drop. Like the Garrett Wilson step out of bounds. Like so close to winning the game. The following week in Buffalo, dude, it was going to be 0-0 at the half. CJ Mosley does his little freak out, and they end up scoring 1 touchdown before the half. And that was the difference in the game, man. It was a 1-score game the entire way. Like, we were there, man. Like, you can look at it as a collective and say, look, 6 in a row, we suck. But I think for me, man, it pays to look at the details. What really happened? We didn't see 145-3 drubbing the entire season. You know, like there was not one game where we felt, except for recently, right? I mean, the Jaguars game kind of felt like that, and the Seattle game, even though the defense stiffened and they only got 6 points the entire second half, it just felt like we were hopeless, right? It's like outside of the most recent games, which I believe everything just caught up. Everything just caught up. The emotional, being able to hold up and overcome all the injuries and the bad quarterback play and the bad play calling. We were able to kind of overcome it, and I think it caught up with us, and we were burnt. And that's okay, man. It sucks. But when you look at it, we had so many opportunities. Like, if we would have won one of those games, we're literally playing for a win and you're in situation. One. It was Detroit. It was the Vikings. If it was the Bills or Patriots, if it was the Jags or Lions or Seahawks, like any one of those games, the chips fell in such a way that we could be in there. And it's so bothersome. But the truth is, if we just remove our our propensity to go right to the bottom floor, there's a lot to be hopeful for. And how they played this year is part of it. It's part of it. So, yeah, I know. I know. So, but look, when we get to these guys, like he said, New York Jets superfan, he said, we need more players. Well, the hope is that we have some of these guys, like a Jamie Sherwood, who I believe is ready to step in and get a larger role. I think he's ready to be a starter. It'll be his 3rd year. All of his years in the NFL are in the exact same system, right? So that's obviously key. We want to fire everybody and start all over. Like I just don't want to do that, man. Put all these guys through let them develop, let them grow in the system for a minute, man. Let's stop pulling the cord, right while we have a predominantly young team, at least our core, our exciting players. Most of them are young. Let them grow in the system and become experts at the system. Tony Adams is one of those guys that we're hoping can be that. I mean, shit, we let Jason Pinnock go. Hey, there he is, Long Island, the tropical far-off land of Long Island. Matt O'Leary checking in. It's good to see you. This is nice. This is quite a few days in a row, man. I'm happy to be blessed by your presence, my good friend. DeBoer's heading to bed. Well, good night, DeBoer. I don't know why, but good night. Good night. I hope you have a restful slumber, my friend. Now, look, there are also guys like Nasruddin. I mean, he hasn't really, he hasn't shown up in a way that you're, like a Sherwood. Sherwood, in every role that he's been in, he's done very, very well. Whether that's special teams, he's second on the team in special teams tackles. At least he was a couple weeks ago, last time I checked. When he comes in to play defense, he's all over the place. I mean, a couple weeks ago, C.J. Mosley went out for 3 plays. 3 plays. Sherwood made the tackle all 3 plays. And then he got taken out for C.J. Mosley to come back in. But that's what you want to see, man. Not like, hey, I haven't played in a while, I'm lost. Nope, he came in, boom, hit the ground running and made his impact known. So when you're looking at guys like Quincy Williams and Quan Alexander, if they want big bucks or anything like that, you already got Sherwood. And that's so important to what we're trying to do here. We talk about it all the time. The pipeline. Right, dude. I agree with that, John. So Tony Adams is one of those guys, and we're going to get to see him this week. It looks like where all reports are that Tony Adams is going to start. Tony Adams, not Josh Adams. I believe that was our running back a couple of years ago, who, by the way, I mean, a lot of us Jets fans were upset that he was cut, but I'm gonna take a look right now. I'm fairly certain he's a free agent. Josh Adams, undrafted prospect, signed with the Eagles, right? He led the Eagles in rushing yards that year. Let's see. Yeah. Let me see where he is. I mean, he's a big running back, 6'2", 225. And how come I can't find what that? Let me see. There he is. So where is he now? He's an American football running back. So where is he now? Oh my God! Wait a minute. He's in a different league. The Michigan Panthers of the United States, USF. He's playing in the USFL. See, it took me a second. What the hell's happening? What does this mean? Michigan Panthers. So look at it, man. I mean, look, he's been a free agent for a while. He bounced around a little bit, but like we get mad. We fall in love with certain players, right? We all do it. We stare at these guys. We watch them in college. We study them on when we're looking at our draft stuff, and then they're on the team, and we see them do some good things, and we're really, really hopeful for them. The Jets cut them, and you're all pissed off. And then you look 2 years later and they've done nothing. You know what I mean? Like they've done nothing. And it kind of, it at least supports the idea that the staff might know what they're looking at. That's a good thing. I mean, obviously, I don't know anybody's rooting against him to have a terrible career. I thought he was going to absolutely catch on with the team. Again, 6'2", 225, straight ahead runner, lowers his head nicely. I don't know why the hell he's not catching on. It's got to be something like effort-wise or something like that. I mean, we kept him around here for 3 years on the practice squad, right? So Anyway, Tony Adams is going to get to start. He played 83% of the snaps last week. So that's one of the guys we should keep our eyes on, everybody. Try to keep our eyes on Tony Adams. And look, we're going to get to see him. Let's see how we feel going into the offseason. Do we want to use our first round pick on the premier free safety like we should have done, or not should have? I'm very happy with our draft. Like we could have done. Hey, look, we got some Toronto, Canada. Did I tell you, Rob Rigioni? I'm doing a Canada thing for our culture club, homeschool, this month. And today, when I'm done with this stream, I'm going inside, and my daughter and I are going to make some traditional Canadian bannock bread. What do you think? See that, buddy? See that? I wanted to make poutine, but somebody stole that shit. That was the first thing anybody, there's a list. You gotta sign up and to whatever, but can't have everybody making poutine. I love poutine, man. It's the Canadian version of cheese gravy fries, like disco fries. You guys know the TikTok diner over there on Route 3? Best disco fries in the Northeast, in my opinion. TikTok diner, especially midnight or later, especially drunk. I used to go there like 2:30, 3 in the morning, man, and get like a double Taylor ham, egg, and cheese. Like, nah, man, double the meat, double the eggs, double the cheese. And I'd get double Taylor ham, egg, and cheese, and a massive disco fries, which is melted mozzarella and gravy. Brown gravy, not paisan. But yeah, man. Anyway, poutine is just like that. All right. So, Sherwood looks solid. Start Sherwood. Noel Nasruddin. Yeah, I don't know about. I mean, look, I'm a supporter of Nasruddin as well. But again, unlike Sherwood, he hasn't really sparked anything. He's played some special teams. We could take a look and see what he's done. Hamza Nasruddin stats. Let's see what he's done. He had 2 tackles in the Seahawks game. He's got a total of 14 tackles over the past 2 years. So this season, he's got 4 tackles. Now, he hasn't played all that much. But again, Sherwood, in his limited capacity, has really made himself look good. He's made a name, Nasruddin, not so much. And it's interesting because let me tell you something. Hamza Nasruddin was considered a 2nd-round pick at one point. He had the injury and then everything, but he ended up being what did we get him in the 6th? So I thought he was the steal of the draft. I said, holy shit, man, this is great. Now, it doesn't mean, look, even if he didn't kind of snap into it yet, doesn't mean he's not gonna. He's the kind of guy you want around, in my opinion. But Sherwood, Nasruddin, Tony Adams, and then you got the Kenny Yeboahs of the world. I mean, what's he doing? He's just playing specials, doing his thing. 3rd tight end. He's looking good, but I'd like to see Yeboah and Ruckert get more of a role. So he says, New York Jets superfan says, there's improvement, but we have a lot of weaknesses. Quarterback, O-line, wide receiver, linebacker, safety. Here's the thing. I think even with everything else, now look, you're going to get AVT back, right? That's a huge boost, huge. Now, depending on where you play him, let's say that where you pick in the draft, just hypothetically speaking, the tackles are gone and you have like a premier guard, the best guard in the class. He's sitting right there. Do you take him and play AVT at tackle? You can. He was dominant at both tackle positions, oddly enough. But I would, if you're going to do that, I would see him more on the left side. But, do you make that decision? Like, hey, AVT, we're gonna pencil you in as a left tackle, man, and we're gonna go and get a guard. Now, having that flexibility does afford you that kind of consideration. You have now 2 positions that AVT can impact. So if you have a stud tackle sitting there worthy of the 1st-round pick, you can take him and keep AVT at the guard, or you can do vice versa, like I just said. Now, I don't know the details. Maybe AVT's like, dude, stop moving me around. I don't want to play tackle. maybe, right? And that's possible. But anyway, it does afford us to do that. But so look, we're going to get ABT back. You bring in a tackle. You got Becton coming back. He's not going to be penciled in as the starter, but he's there. You heal up. You get the guys to heal up. We'll figure out center. But again, even with the offensive line exactly as it's been playing, everything was still there. Like the plays there was enough time a lot of the time, and there were open guys a lot of the time. So quarterback, to me, if you took everything and it was exactly the same players, same injuries, same scenarios. If everything was the same and you took a quarterback that hit 65% of his passes, and don't say that he couldn't because of the line, it's not true. It's simply not true. I'm not saying the offensive line was perfect. I'm not. They had their troubles, man, but they were good enough. They were holding the pocket long enough for the wide receivers they were open a lot of the time. And if the quarterback just hit them, whether that's Zach, Mike White, Streveler, Flacco, or a new guy, if we just got that, Superfan, it's my opinion that we would have 2 more wins. Easy. Now, look, we have 6 draft picks, and we'll figure it out in free agency. I don't see wide receiver as a weakness. I see Mike Lafleur's use of fucking Elijah Moore as a weakness. Why can't we get this guy the ball? I mean, Corey Davis is cheap. He's $11 million compared to wide receivers. If you want to keep him around, he's under contract. You got him. You can let him go for no dead cap, or very little anyway. But you got Denzel Mims, who I think did a good job this year. You got Mims, you got Elijah Moore, you have Berrios under contract. I mean, Berrios had a tough second half of the season, but the other 3 years or 4 years we had him, he's been fucking fine. Obviously, Garrett Wilson is a stud. So, yes, you want to add somebody to the mix, but I don't see it as a weakness. I really don't. If they can figure out how to get Elijah Moore the ball. Now, here's the thing. If we have a quarterback that can actually see the field, how many times have we said it? Elijah Moore is open. Elijah Moore is open all day. Elijah Moore is open all day. It's the truth. Why do you think he's so frustrated? It's not that he can't lose anybody. He's open. So while I'm with you, those are the positions I'm looking at, and I'll add one for you, is big, meaty, beefy run stuff in defensive tackle. I think we need more than Nathan Shepard. I think we need more than him. Yeah, I think look, you can get those guys in the mid to lates, but maybe even the first 2 rounds, you get one of the premier guys. You get one of the premier guys, man. Get a big ugly to just clog that left side of the line. Let Quinnen do his thing over here, and you let this guy take care of the A and B gap on his side. That's what we need. That's what we need. Astamar Darkstar, thank you, buddy. He says Lafleur with Zach equals trade new offensive coordinator Frank Reich. Zach is a quarterback 2 behind Derek Carr. Team needs a revamp. Yeah, well, here's the thing. Now, if that ended up happening, now I know there's a lot of Jets fans that think Lafleur should be the one whose head should roll, right? My concern is this. Is bringing in a new system and the whole thing. It's like, then we have this whole year of all that shit. I'm just kind of tired of it. And again, I saw enough. While I have so many issues with Lafleur, at least of which is his ability to use certain players. How do you not figure out how to use Elijah Moore, Denzel Mims, Michael Carter? How can you not figure this out as an offensive coordinator? That aside, let's say this does happen. Let's say what Darkstar says happens. So we fire Mike Lafleur, Frank Reich comes on in, and we get Derek Carr. Anybody have a problem with that? I think that's a fairly strong response to our issues. Now, Frank Reich is kind of an interesting one, man. He didn't really do anything as the head coach in Indianapolis. Now, he was credited when the Philly fans wanted Peterson's head. Now, I have a couple really close friends that are Philly fans, right? Like really close, like close buddies of mine. They wanted Peterson's head. The thinking was it was Frank Reich that was the gem of the offense. And when he left, like they let Foles go, turned out Foles might have been the better pick at that time to keep, but they just signed Carson Wentz to the big contract. He's younger, the whole thing. So they made some decisions. So a lot of them were kind of having, second thoughts on the Wentz Foles thing. That's one side. But underneath it all, they thought Frank Reich was the true offensive gem. Now, he went to Indianapolis, and the offense started to fall apart, right? Carson Wentz wasn't, doing so well. He kept getting injured and the whole thing. But Frank Reich, his quarterbacks up in Indy. Now, I don't know if this is the general manager's fault or Frank Reich's. They had Andrew Luck the first year. Then he has Phillip Rivers the second year. Then they trade for Carson Wentz, right? His guy. They went and got his guy that he had so much success with. They give him his guy. He throws 27 touchdowns and 7 picks or something like that. So he performed well, but the team hated his guts. All right, those were the reports that the team hates him. They just nobody gets along with him. He's not a team chemistry guy. So they trade him and they bring in Matt Ryan, and Matt Ryan has literally his worst year. Now he's old, so is his oldest year. So you don't know where it is. But Peterson, on the other hand, goes down to Jacksonville. He scoops up Trevor Lawrence after a tumultuous rookie season with Urban Meyer, and it takes a few weeks. But dude, you can see it. The games are intelligent. They're efficient, and Trevor Lawrence looks great, right? They made some very specific moves. They went out and got a couple wide receivers. You know what I mean? Like they obviously they got Travis Etienne back. I don't even know if he's what's up with him, but anyway, the point is Frank Reich doesn't look so good. Now, 4 different quarterbacks, I get it, but whose choice is that? We don't know. Is it Ballard or Reich? But then you look at Peterson, and he's doing well down there. So who is it really? Like, is Frank Reich fool's gold? And that's my concern. Like, everybody wants to fire people, Dark Star. We always want to fire people. And you got to remember, who we bringing in? Does Frank Reich mesh with this staff? Does he and John Benton and all these guys? I mean, they're professionals. I don't know. This is keep it simple, RC. This is me. That's what I think we should do. I think we should put all guns toward the Derek Carr thing. You re-sign Mike White. You let Zach play 3 and just keep developing him. Like Saleh said, hell or high water, great. You're second guessing your choice to start him right away. Great. Put him in the back burner and just work him. I think you should bring in another quarterback coach, too, though. I don't give a shit what Calabrese thinks or if it hurts his ego. Bring somebody in, man. Make sure you're actually doing it. Okay, that's because you don't know what you're looking at, Dakota. You don't know what you're looking at. Mims is an asset. I don't know what you're talking about. Really. I mean, he had 1 official drop the entire year. 1. Telling you, man, you guys are weird. I don't know what the Mims thing. I don't understand. He's had limited sparing playing time. When he plays, he does well. He's had key blocks on touchdowns and huge runs. He's a very good blocker. And when asked to perform, he's performed. That's it. He has 1 official drop the entire year. Like, what is it? Why don't we like Mims? Now, maybe he's not what we thought he was going to be yet. You know what I mean? That's an argument, but maybe you don't want to depend on him. He hasn't done enough for you to feel comfortable with dependent. I'm sure, I can see that. But ass? Why is he ass? I don't understand. Jets Maniac Matt checking in. Thank you, buddy. Happy Friday, fellas. Stay positive. Good to come. Right on, man. Right on. Thank you. And good morning and happy Friday to you. Dakota, DJ Reed needs to stay for sure. Some said, well, DJ Reed's under contract for, I think it was a 3-year, right? Wasn't it a 3-year contract? So he's fine. Let's take a look at DJ Reed's contract, Dakota. I think he's definitely here for next season. So that's good. Let's take a look at DJ Reedles. Let's see. Yeah, he's under contract. I'll show you right now. So it's not like, that's the thing. Like you just got to take a stand. Look, who's here? Like, when we talk about our needs and everything, you got to look at where we really are. Where were we? And where are we? Obviously, hitting on the quarterback would have been fantastic, would have been best, but we didn't. It doesn't look like we did. So you got to acknowledge that and adjust. You got to account for it. You got to take care of it, right? You can't just dilly-dally and, I don't know, maybe. No, address it. You know what you got, address it. Don't go into this season with Mike White and Zach Wilson again. Can't do it, dude. If you do, I'm very, very disappointed. But there's a lot of players that we've brought in, whether, through the draft or free agency, that are really good. Like, who's worried about our cornerbacks? I'm not. Our cornerbacks are locked down to 2025 barring injury. So here's what we got. They could get out of his contract. Why the hell would they want to do that? Right? Why would they want to do that? For $11 million and you pay $6 million in dead cap. Like, I don't know, just pay him his money, dude. He's a premier cornerback, right? You just got to pay him. So he's $14 million next year. Now he's on the expensive side, but I don't know, right? As his cap hit is $14 million, and you're actually paying him, what is that, $11 million? So I don't know. He got the 1 year, he got 10.5 guaranteed, right? So you got a $3 million signing bonus. You got a base salary of $1 million, roster bonus of $411,000. So his cap hit this year was $4 million. It's a shame. We should have kept some of that for the front end, I think. But yeah, I mean, look, unless we want out of DJ Reed, which I can't imagine why, he's under contract till 2025. It's my thought, like he plays anything like he did this year, you extend him again. Like you have your cornerbacks. Michael Carter II's great. He had 2 bad games. He's great. Michael Carter II is a very, very good slot receiver, Sauce Gardner. Amazing. We don't know. I don't want to jinx his career, but amazing. So, yeah, I think DJ Reed, look, I think most of our defensive line, you have a question with Rankins, Shepard, Solomon Thomas, and Carl Lawson. You got to see what you want to do, Vinny Curry. But, I mean, dude, we have such a strong young core on that defensive line. It's fantastic, man. So the cornerbacks, the defensive line, depending on what happens with CJ Mosley and Quincy Williams, but you have Sherwood. Like there's a lot here. You got to keep building, not pull the rug out halfway through. That's my thoughts. That's my thoughts. But yeah, I'm with you though. DJ Reed has to stay, Dakota. I'll tell you that. And good news is he is going to stay because he's under contract. I would be blown away if the Jets just decided to get rid of him. That's nuts. Phil Adams reminds us 128 folks. That's actually 145. Only 45 likes for GreenBean. Come on, fellas. Now, I'll remind you, too, we only need 73 more subs to get to the goal of 10,000. Again, I tried to get there for December 31st, which was my 2-year YouTube anniversary. We didn't do it, but we got damn close, and we're inching closer now. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, now's a great time. It would be greatly appreciated. Now, again, the guy who won this, we're giving this away to subscribers only. You have to be subscribed to the channel. The Manscaped Weed Whacker, we just gave away the Lawnmower 4.0 last night. David Gerard won it. Actually, Chode Uglis won it first, and he said, please offer it to someone else. I can't take it. He's vagabonding right now. So he graciously gave it to somebody else, and David Gerard won. But now this one is going to a subscriber because the person didn't claim it. I sent out messages, and I did what I could, but he didn't claim it. No sweat. So now this is an amazing ear and nose hair trimmer, the Manscaped Weed Whacker. It's going to be given away probably, what's today, Friday? Probably early next week I'll give it away. But yeah, and you can join the newest membership, which is specific to the live streams, the Stream Beaners. You can do that. The join button is right below the video, and that gives you free super chats and all kinds of fun emojis. Again, like I was saying last night, I only get so many emojis. Who knew? I had a whole bunch. I paid for emojis to be made, and I can't use them all until I get more subscribers, more members. So the more members I get, the more emojis I can add. Some of them are here. Look, I'll do a little thing with some emojis. Here's a brand new updated freeze bean. Okay. And then I altered the Facebook thumb to the Facebook FU. And we have a Fireman Ed. I got another Fireman Ed, an animated Fireman Ed too. I'm actually going to send these to him. Let him know. Tribute, man, to our buddy and Jets fan number one, Fireman Ed. So anyway, yeah, man. So you can do that. And of course, the beanbaggers, if you want to get in on that, the link is in the description. I have 2 new ones this week. If you're one of them, I'm going to send you an email today welcoming you with some details. And then next week, we have our all 22 breakdown get together on Wednesday nights. Fantastic. What a great time the beanbaggers are, man. Great group of people. Yeah, that's what Matt O'Leary, right, man. Now it'll be interesting about Mims. If the Jets feel finally that, like, hey man, we can lose Corey Davis and his $11 million and his 5 drops a year, and every time he drops it seems to fly in the air. I don't know why. Maybe they feel comfortable enough giving those plays to Mims. I don't know if they do or not. Look, it hasn't looked like they're gonna, but they might. Either way, there's no reason that Denzel Mims can't be part of the rotation. There's just no reason for it. Let's see. Here's the problem, GreenBean. Our system takes a certain kind of quarterback, and to change the offensive coordinator, you're changing the system. That's what I'm saying. I mean, look, here's the thing with our system. Now, Lafleur, he's newer running the system, right? We know that. But the truth is that our system is very quarterback friendly. The Shanahan system is very quarterback friendly. Look at Brock Purdy. Now, if we just had a fucking Brock Purdy, now I'm not so sure Lafleur and Calabrese could get that out of Brock Purdy like Shanahan is over there, but it's very quarterback friendly, man. And so having the system be strong and actually effective when you can just take a quarterback, any quarterback that's not crumbling under the weight and is in their head. Most quarterbacks, if they're even average, are going to succeed in this system. And again, guys, when you watch the film, you'll see what I'm talking about. And I'm not telling you that everything's perfect, but there are so many plays that we leave on the field that are there. They're there. It's all there. The time's there. The receivers are open. The outlets are there. We don't hit it for myriad reasons, whether it's not pulling the trigger, whether it's throwing it high or low, whether it's not seeing them, whether it's, staring one guy and getting sacked behind you because you don't, whatever it is, there are reasons that we don't hit it. So the system, technically speaking, is working. So I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about that. Like the idea of gutting it and bringing in a new system, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, aren't you every 2 years, like even if we took 2 years to lay the foundation and everything's kind of grooving finally, like they're finally, and then we start all over. I just don't see that as forward. I just don't. Unless they think LaFleur's hit his ceiling, which we don't know. I don't know. But maybe they did. B-Trav, favorite part of the show? Ass? Why is he ass? Yeah, I should clip that. Let's see. What else we got here? You got Harlan in here. Jimmy's in here. Hey, man, good morning. Jason Edwards. All right, good morning, Jason. Mike Lafleur needs to simplify his situational football moments and utilize what I completely agree. I completely agree, man. Like, you're going to tell me that other coaches wouldn't realize that Denzel Mims is 6'3" and can out jump most cornerbacks. Just run to the corner of the end zone, and throw it. Let him jump up and get it. Like, why haven't we seen that once? Not once. Not once. And these are the problems that I have with Lafleur. But again, he's not going to be able to get that stuff going without, if we're always doing 3 and outs. We can't see anything. I asked Demar, thank you. GreenBean, Bubby Brister could have made this team 10 wins. Bubby was bad. I'll tell you what, though, before the years before the Jets, though, he was definitely not good when he was on the Steelers. He was good enough to get us to 10 wins. No shit, man. For real. So many quarterbacks. It's crazy. Yeah, Jets, Paulie. I actually feel bad for Garrett Wilson. If we had a quarterback that hit 65% of his passes like GreenBean is talking about, he would have had an all-time rookie. I know, dude. Think about it. If he would have had a guy that could hit him. I mean, dude, the last game, I think it was a Jaguars game, he had 11 targets and 3 receptions. 11 times we threw it toward him. Dirt. High, way out in front. It's just like, it's sad. It's sad to see, man. But again, we just got to work through it. We got to work through it. Jets and Giants fan, how does this work? GreenBean, what do you think of Josh McCown as I love Josh McCown as a quarterback coach. Problem is, he was almost a head coach for some weird reason. If it wasn't for Brian Flores blowing up the spot with some overt racism things that are still going on, if it wasn't at that moment, believe me when I tell you, they were hiring Josh McCown as their head coach. And they still might. Good morning, Aunt Gina. How you doing? Good morning, Aunt Gina. It's nice to see you. I was talking with your son yesterday. It's nice to see him. So that's what it was. 11. It wasn't the Jaguars. It was the Seahawks. It's all smearing together for me at this point. Yeah. So he had three catches. So think about it, man. If he just had steady quarterback play. Now, I know Jets Forever's motivation for putting that up there. I don't care. I'm going to use it nonetheless. But I know what he's saying. He's trying to say that he doesn't like someone. That's what he's trying to say there. But the point that I'm making is maintained. Garrett Wilson has had 4 quarterbacks this year. 4. All of which had their moments, but overall were hot garbage. Overall. Mike White had his moments. Generally speaking, couldn't get in the end zone. Obviously the last game with the flak jacket. Zach Wilson, he had a couple moments, right? The Miami game was kind of okay, right? The Green Bay game, the Pittsburgh. He had his moments, but overall, hot garbage. I mean, there were games where fucking Garrett Wilson had 12 yards, dude. Why does Garrett Wilson have 12 yards? You know what I mean? So anyway, I feel bad for him too. But now, look, he's still got 1,000 yards. You can feel bad for him all we want. He's the first Jets rookie to ever get 1,000 yards receiving. And he's the first Jets wide receiver to get 1,000 yards since Brandon Marshall. You know what I mean? So we could feel bad, but how about we flip that and feel happy that we finally got somebody that could do it? You know what I mean? We don't always have to look at it the negative way. We can look at it for its positive. It's not a bad rookie year. It's not a bad rookie year. Keep it simple, RC. We've burned through 3 other head coaches before Saleh got here. I don't want to go through it again. Saleh has done some nice things. Let's play it out another 2 years minimum and see that's where I am. That's where I am. And look, and I've said it 1,000 times if I've said it once. I am not a huge Saleh fan, all right? I'm not. I'm not a homer for Saleh. I think he's done enough growth and positive things that you can warrant continuing. That's what I think. I mean, shit. We win this game. It's the first time we've had 8 wins since 2015. And I think it was a few years before that. Let me see here. New York Jets records last 10 years. Let's do that. Am I still no. Let me see. New York Jets history. Let's see. So, all right, let's take a look at this. And this is what we'll wrap it up on. Okay. So, let me get that off of here, over here. Okay, so we're going to share the screen. We'll take a look quickly at the Jets' last 10 years of records. Okay, so here we go. So we got 2021. We were 4-13. 2020, we were 2-14. Before that, we were 7-9. So we had the 6-2 run that everybody was so excited about at the end there. Then we had 4-12, 5-11, 5-11. Then this is the 2015 miracle year where we still somehow didn't make the playoffs painfully. Before that, it was 4-12. So 2013, Rex had us at 8-8, and 2011, Rex had us at 8-8. All right. So, and this was the 2011 was sad because it was a collapse. We should have absolutely made the playoffs that year, and we just couldn't get our head out of our ass. And that's because of the team that Tanny and Rex destroyed. You know, this was right after the 11-5. But look, man, so just keeping it right here. We were 7-9 in 2019. And then we were 8-8, or we were 10-6 in 2015. We were 8-8 in 2013. So we get to 8 wins, and it's an obvious move forward, man. Again, the late season collapse is just the worst. But if we spread it, if we had 4 in the front and 4 in the back, we'd all feel significantly better. We would. So this is Rex. Can you guys see this? Yeah. Where is it? So these are the Rex years, right? Well, these are the successful Rex years. But look at this. We fired Mangini out of right after this one. We were 9-7. We fired him. But look, he had the 10-6. This was the Mangenius year when everybody called him Mangenius. Then he follows that up with 4-12. Then we trade for Brett Favre and we get 9-7. Before that, we had the Herman Edwards. Why does it say Herman Edwards 2000? Oh, here's the Mangini. I'm sorry. I had it off. Here's the Mangenius year right here. Isn't that what I said? That's what I said. So then we had Herm, which was 4-12. He was 10-6, 6-10, 9-7, 10-6. So you see, there was a stretch there, man. We weren't exactly embarrassing. You know what I mean? 10-6, and we were 6-10, 9-7, 10-6, 9-7, 8-8, 12-4, 9-7. You see it? Before that, pretty bad. Oh gosh, I thought we'd never get here again, my friends. I really did. I remember telling my son, "Don't worry, we'll never be as bad as we were. Never." Alpha Anaconda, Mike White is not hot garbage. All right. Maybe he's not hot garbage. All right, I'll buy that. But are you going to deny that the last game was hot garbage? And he's got, the injuries and everything else. I was excited about Mike White too. Just again, all I want to see is just average quarterback play. That's it. It's all we're asking for. And we got it, and it was exciting. Sad to say, we just by the skin of our teeth didn't make it. We didn't win the Vikings game, the Bills game, the Detroit game. Like, we could have won any one of those games very easily, dude. And that's the thing I'm choosing to focus on. We were 1 score away. All these losses are 1 score, except up until the Jaguars, when we just kind of Jaguars and Seahawks. It looks like the team's fried. It just looks like the team's fried to me. Let's see. John Hepper. Okay, we're gonna back out of here now. I really do appreciate you guys being here with me this morning. John Hepper, Winkerbet, and Frank said Frank Reich through the nicest football. Bring him in as a quarterback coach, and Mike LaFleur tanks. We elevate Reich. Yeah, I mean, do you think Frank Reich wants to be a quarterback coach though? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Get one more comment in here. Yeah, I'd say that. White can be a solid 2 for sure. We need a real quarterback, guys. We need a real quarterback. And sad to say, only from what I've seen, it doesn't look like it's Zach. I think Zach needs a full season to not be the quarterback. That's what I think. And then he's got a shot. We throw him back in there next year. I think we're going to see the same thing. Let's see. Okay, one more comment here. Keep It Simple says, does Reich want the Jets? I'd say no when another team will offer an offensive coordinator. But that's right. That's the point. It's like Frank Reich is a head coach. He's been an offensive coordinator and head coach. You think he's going to go all the way down to quarterback coach on a regime for under Mike Lafleur? I don't know. Maybe, but I don't know. The truth is, I don't see it. I think that if you fired Lafleur and hired Frank Reich as the offensive, maybe you can do that, but I don't see it. I don't see it. Okay, guys. Well, Ty Stewart, thank you. Love the content. I know I'm trying. Don't want to start over again. Let's trust the process for our fandom instead of dumping on the team time or all the time. Yeah, that's where I am. That's where I am. Green and White Militia, good morning. Thanks, guys. I appreciate your time with me this morning. It's Friday. Enjoy the day going into the weekend. Have a fun, safe weekend. I will see you maybe tomorrow morning. I haven't confirmed. I haven't decided if I want to do Saturday mornings yet. But either way, we're going to see each other on Sunday for our last game of the season. Sad to say. I love spending time with you. Don't forget to hit like on your way out, guys. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I'm trying to get to that elusive 10,000 subscriber plateau. It's really, really important. And I greatly appreciate it. You can become a member of the GreenBeans very quickly, hitting that join button. If you want a more entailed membership, go ahead, look in the description for the link for the Beanbaggers. And we do all sorts of fun stuff in there together. Guys, have a great rest of the day. Let me get this off. And let's see what I want to end this with today. Let's see. Let's keep it going because I want to put this into the ether. Let's just keep going with a little bit of Joe Klecko action. Guys, have a great day. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next time.
As a Hall of Fame voting group, we need to re-examine some careers. And I think we need to re-examine the career of Joe Klecko.
Dang, I want to see how I do against this guy. Because he was the best.
Left guard can't handle Klecko. Just knock the crap out of the guy across from you.
Intensity, bottom line. Never take a play off.
He was incredibly strong.
His just pure raw strength.
He was the same every play. Ball zone.
It was an incredible accomplishment to be dominant at one position in the NFL in your career, but to be dominant at 3 positions